Hi, how are you today? Thank you for joining us at St. Mary's Parish as we begin this new adventure, this stay-at-home retreat. During this Lenten season, we will be posting on our Facebook page as well as on our homepage, our website, these little mini retreats that will be posted every Wednesday for you to grow in your spirituality during the Lenten season. I'm sitting outside in front of our church here. As many of you know, I like the cold weather and enjoying this today, and would like to talk to you a little bit about the beginning of Lent. Ash Wednesday has always been a day of interesting times for me because there's probably never a day more in the whole year that I want a cheeseburger on a day that we can't have one. But the church in her infinite wisdom has said to us, once a year you need to do some spring cleaning. You need to take a moment to look at your life and see where you are, what track you're on, and how all of us can grow in our spiritual lives. So we've been given this time of Lent, which is another word for springtime. As we spring clean our houses, perhaps we should also take a time to spring clean our souls. The first thing that I would think of when it comes to that is that we should all make ourselves available for the sacrament of confession, reconciliation, penance during this Lenten season, so that in a true way we can use the sacrament to prepare our own lives for the resurrection of Christ and to rid ourselves of those things that keep us from loving God and our neighbor as we should. But one of the traditional aspects of Lent is the church offers us the idea of the threefold projects during Lent, if you will: prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. Let's talk a little bit about prayer. I'm sure all of us have our own prayer lives in which we, have our own devotions every day. But perhaps during Lent we can increase those devotions. For example, if you don't go to daily Mass, maybe that is something we can do during Lent. If you can't make it here at St. Mary's, there are churches around us in very close proximity that do have Masses at other times that you and your family maybe can attend daily Mass maybe once or twice extra a week. Or the Stations of the Cross. There's nothing more powerful than witnessing with Christ his last hours here on earth. And the Stations of the Cross every Friday here at St. Mary's at 7 p.m. are a great way to get physically in touch with what Jesus did for us. Scripture is a great thing to do during Lent. All of these things are great throughout the whole year, but intensify during Lent. Let's not forget the Rosary. And even if you just take a moment to stop into church behind me over here during the week. Church is open from about 6 o'clock in the morning till at least 7 o'clock every night. Come in and say a prayer before the Blessed Sacrament in the chapel. The tabernacle is the house of God. The church is the house of God. We are the house of God. It's great to bring all those churches together, all those tabernacles together in our lives, that we can spend quiet time with the Lord and be stronger in our faith. We have that Didache series here at St. Mary's, which is an explanation of the faith. It's a great way to add to your prayer life and spirituality during Lent. Then we have fasting. Fasting, a lot of people use fasting to diet during Lent. And I guess that's okay. But what fasting is really all about is gaining control over the things of this world, the things that sometimes have control over us. And, we look at that as food or drink. But there are so many things that are in control of who we are these days. Our phone, our computers, busyness, whatever it is. And when we fast, when we stay away from those things purposely, we show that we have the spiritual courage to be in charge of those things instead of those things being in charge of us. In other words, we use those things to our benefit and we are not attached to those things or slaves to those things. So fasting not only shows that we have a grasp over those things, but we show a longing for the things that are of the next world and not just of this world. And then finally, almsgiving. Well, you know, as Christians, we always give to those who are in need. But Lent is a special time, as I say, to give not only from our treasure, but from our need. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's easy to give charity when we have a lot of surplus, but it's more difficult to give charity when we have nothing ourselves. That we dig deep into our sacrifice so that others may fare better. It makes us one with them when we dig out of our need. And it makes us understand that we are brothers and sisters and we need to care for one another. So as we begin this Lenten journey together, I ask that you take the time to develop, continue, and strengthen your relationship with God. Go to confession during Lent. We all need to do that. That's the best way to do spring cleaning. Come back each Wednesday and hear our little bit of wisdom for all of our spiritual growth. Until we see you again, God bless you.